Okay, well, welcome back, guys. I just realized I was going to say I've just hidden Rapid. I sent Rapid to go get some well-needed rest. I know he fuels himself on passion, and he is the superhuman faster caster, but he needs sleep as well, and it's not fair for me to keep him from sleeping when he's done a crazy hike today and hasn't slept in a long time. So I'm not going to allow him to put himself in danger or get himself ill by staying up and casting. So he's gone to bed, hopefully, and hopefully he's going to have a very good night's rest. Or I say night, but it's morning for him already. So yeah, we're going to get into our second series here of the STPL now. I believe, I'm quickly double checking something, just wanted to make sure that that's all it is. So, I just need to quickly go through a few of the last bits with the overlay, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the show so far. We'll obviously be having a lot more STPL coming your way very shortly. There's a lot of STPL coming up in the following weeks as well, so lots of good games to be had, lots of cool series as well. Now let's actually quickly look. Okay, I'm being a bit silly. It's kind of funny when I have days like this, my brain kind of goes into meltdown, especially when like little things go wrong with the overlay. I suddenly get like really weird feelings, and it's like everything seems to go wrong, but hopefully it should all be good. Just quickly setting the team intros, because that's what we're going into next. Let's introduce our two teams for today's second series. It's BuLL and it's FBW.
Turning back around there, and now it's going back across the map, but I think he's going to have even less success this time around with a siege tank right next to a turret, and mines everywhere.
Oh, got
and
the
this turret's
mines!
gonna kill everything. Oh my god, GG. Insta tap out, damn.
Just 6 drones right now. He doesn't have any at his natural, and Aeroscraft is sending in more links. GG! And Jaeyoon was worried about the Grey Aspire. Looks like the Lurker's going to be able to clean up everything back at home, but he has nothing to do with the race. GG! We know it's coming, and this is a very difficult situation. He's got nothing on the ground. There's no anti-ground units here, and this is going to be a big deal for Rainer as he drops 4 full dropships to Medic Marine. GG! A huge tank shot going down on those Goliaths. Sorry, on those Dragoons even, and it looks like Atrak has done it. He's broken through the defenses of Future, and GG! And here we go, so many Marines coming in, but there's so many Zealots reinforcing. Do they have any upgrades? And goody GG's! He doesn't have enough splash, he didn't get any more Templar. And Roegi, with a very cool build, takes down Goody. Barracks. We've got Lings breaking into the natural as well. It looks like Lumire may have done a tense third game for Lumire, and a great ace match for him instead. I mean, the SUVs are going to clean up the Lings eventually, but still, he is just losing every single Marine. The barracks are actually going down now as well. And GG! Now going to have a Maelstrom and going to stop the Lurkers from burrowing. That's actually going to be a big move. The Lurker's going to burrow eventually though, and there isn't an observer over here, but a nice storm on top of all of those Lurkers going to take it down. And Jojo, unfortunately, we're too late as I said before. GG! More Lings coming in behind this, and Lurker even irradiated, but that's going to be too much. GG!
It's showtime.
So there you have it, guys. Our two teams for this series. BuLL on the left have been around since round 2. They've only won 4 of their series, but to make that seem a little bit better, in round 2 they actually went. Well, they didn't win a game, unfortunately, but they're in the strongest team we've had in the STPL so far, the strongest group we've had in the STPL so far. And then in round 3, they won all 4 of their games. Well, they won 4 of 6 of their games, I think. Very barely didn't make it to the playoffs. They're actually only a couple of series off. I think they were 1 series off or something. Absolutely insane how they did. I mean, you can tell from their stats they rely a lot on their Terran players. And FBW, the Foreign Brood War Discord communities team, they've been around since the very beginning. They've had different names since they came back as FBW for round 3. They won 5 of their 7 games. They were 2 games off of knocking White Clan out of the playoffs positions, anyway, the playoff spots. But here they are in round number 3, round number 4 even. They're doing pretty well. They're currently 1-0 against BuLL, and they're 1-1 in round 4. So it's going to be cool to see how they're going to do here in our second series today. And just to have a look at today's lineups, that's obviously the next big thing in the STPL. We get to have a look at who is going to be playing. Set 1 is going to be a TVP between FlyMio and TT1 on Fortress SE. We're going to go into a TVT between Reina and Roegi on Neo Chain Reaction. I think it's going to be a TVZ actually. And a ZVZ between Dark and Hirmu. And then a ZVZ between Willian and Faust. So once again, we could have a relatively fast series here, depending on how the games go. Obviously, I think we're going to have a TVZ with Roegi because Roegi subbed in for Cadenzi. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. I guess we'll find out very, very shortly. But just in terms of what I think is going to be the best matchup, I'm really, really looking forward to match number 1 here. FlyMio is an absolute boss. He does so well for BuLL team. And TT1, obviously the Canadian Protoss that you may have heard of if you follow Broodwalkers. He's been around forever. And also, you may have heard of him if you played StarCraft 2 as well. He did really well at the opening of that. Actually beat Nada, I think, or something in the GSL versus the World, the first one they ever did of that. So, kind of cool. TT1 obviously a very historied player, and it's going to be cool to see exactly how he's going to do here. Now let's actually have a look at these players' stats, starting with FlyMio. You'll see he's 4-5, and he's actually 2-2 against Protoss here. He did beat First, and he beat Fisheye, but he lost to Praise and Dodo B. Now it's kind of strange, like the players there, you'd kind of think it'd be reversed. First is a relatively good Protoss player for White Clan, and Fisheye is a good Protoss player for Red as well. But Dodoby and Praise haven't really proven themselves as of yet, so seeing the results like this is kind of interesting. But looking at TT1 stats, up until last week, he was completely undefeated until he lost to Kimchi when he played against DM. So he beat FamSE and he beat Gypsy as well, 2 great Terran players in round 3. FamSE, one of the highest ranked players in the STPL, and Gypsy was one of the best players on media when they were still in the tournament. But it's great to see TT1 here, and let's actually have a quick look at the map we're going to be playing on. Hopefully the map intros are going to play a little bit safer this time, and hopefully everything should go okay. Let's have a look. Okay guys, there you have it. There is our map for the first game. Now, this is actually, well, I'm actually on the wrong screen, so things look a little bit more glitchy than normal, but there we go. So I don't know why the first map is saying La Mancha. Let me quickly fix that. By the power of production, in one swift click, we can make this better. And there we go. So, we're looking at the right map now. Fortress SE. We've had one PvT here so far where Reina, FlyMio's teammate, did take down PRL, getting revenge for FlyMio from the round 3 game that FlyMio lost. But yeah, this is Fortress SE, so just to have a quick look at where the players are going to spawn, we've got one of the players in the 12 o'clock position and one in the 3. Now, we are actually going to have TT1 in the top middle position. Now, this is a really interesting sort of setup for TVP because the installation gate defended third bases are going to be really powerful for Protoss to take. Now, TT1, if he's feeling adventurous, could actually take this top right base and it's going to be very difficult for Flymeo to do anything about it. Obviously, dropships are very powerful on this map, shuttles powerful as well. Obviously, if we were looking at the sort of path a shuttle would take for TT1, he would have to go this way, and he gets kind of a good foothold over this side wall where he can kind of leapfrog units into the main. This makes Arbiters a little bit more powerful late game. It's a very strong position for carriers to go to as well, and now Flymeo obviously does have that option as well. But if we look at the possible third bases for Flymeo, he has this bottom right base that is defended by the installation gates, but once again, he's going to find trouble from shuttles coming in. It's a little bit more difficult for him to deal with that than it is for Protoss to deal with dropships due to cannons. But then we've also got this center base. Now, there's two center bases here. One is very, very close to TT1, so it's very, very unlikely we're going to be seeing that. But if he wants to kind of sneak out of his natural, assume a defensive line with lots of mines in front of himself, he can kind of swing round and split the map and secure this bottom middle and bottom left base. So we could go long here, we could go short as well. It's going to be up to how both these players choose to play the map as we get into game number 1 on Fortress SE. It's TT1 versus Flymeo. Okay, starting us off here in the 3 o'clock position, we do have the Yellow Terran fighting for BuLL. It's Flymeo. And in the 12 o'clock position, we have his opponent, the Canadian powerhouse himself. It's TT1. Now, you'll have to forgive me a little bit. It's the first time I've actually casted solo for a while even, so, you know, should be kind of cool. I'm kind of used to bouncing off of Rapid, but in case you're wondering where Rapid went, he did mention before that he's actually been hiking for a very long distance today. Been spending a lot of time doing that, so very, very tired, so I sent him off to get some sleep. Good to see you here, Roegi. I know you don't often get time to watch because of the sort of schedule it's on, but good to see you out here to support your teammate in TT1. But it looks like TT1 going for a forward gate. I mean, this is kind of an aggressive play, but you can also use this to take a quick expansion. It kind of creates a wall that you can block vultures from getting through. Now, it looks like Flymeo are going to be walling off this front entrance now. I believe this is Dragoon tight due to the kind of gap here, but Zealots can sort of move in and out of here. Now, one thing to note about this map is you'll see there's this kind of small little map feature. Now, if you build a barracks here, if I zoom out a little bit, let's go back to normal zoom, you can see there's actually little markings to put the barracks down. Now, you can put the barracks there, the depot there, and it's actually fully Zealot tight. So, it'll be interesting to see if this actually comes into play. It's not often that you see something like this matter, but obviously in any games with early aggression, which we've seen our fair share of today, every little bit helps. Now, the SCV is going to be kind of hanging out here outside of the wall. Sorry, I am also quite tired today. You can see the SCVs are going to be moving here. He's going to try and add the factory on here to make a wall now. I can't remember if this part is Zealot tight. It's not often you see a wall like this, and this kind of bottlenecks you a little bit later. It's kind of like almost a panic wall, I would say. Like, we're going to see the probe being able to move forward. I think TT1 is a little bit unsure whether or not this is fully Zealot tight. Now, the first Marine is actually going to get stuck out here because he doesn't realistically want to show TT1 that units can get through that gap. And he's actually running it in a circle. This is really cool. He's not going to be able to get the Zealot with this third Zealot coming in. Sorry, with the third Marine coming in, maybe something can happen. There's the SUV actually just showing TT1 the way is clear. The Zealot moving in on top of this final Marine. Gonna get that. Another Marine spawns on top of the Zealots. This is getting a little bit worrying here for FlyMio. He's gonna try and get a Vulture out, but that Vulture is gonna get stuck outside of the wall. SCVs have been pulled, and we could be in for another very quick game here, depending on how well FlyMio manages to hold. The first Vulture is going to be absolutely crucial. Now, back at home, while this is going on, we have a second gateway, Cybernetic score coming in, and TT1 saving up for a Nexus. Now, another SUV has gone down. The first Vulture is out, and this is crucial to this defense. He needs to not lose too many SCVs. But the trouble is, this is just phase 1. With aggression like this, obviously TT1 is putting a lot of effort into trying to micro this. You can see his macro slipping just a little bit back at home. Actually going to opt to add on 2 Dragoons straight away rather than going for the Nexus first. Now, this isn't a mistake. TT1 is obviously adding on those Dragoons. Now, the reason why this is powerful is he knows he's forced a lot of these Vultures out, and there's only 2 Marines left. So while Dragoons take 4 shots to kill a Marine, and they take quite a few to kill a Vulture as well, they can out-micro this. So let's see if FlyMio can do something. He's actually going to send just 1 Vulture out the front to start with. The other couple of Vultures getting stuck behind this Marine. This is one of the problems with grouping up multiple types of units that Terrans can have sometimes. But as you can see, TT1 already getting a good amount of damage down on this first Vulture. Now, what is the target firing like? TT1 immediately going for those Vultures. The other 2 Vultures moving forward. Mines should be finishing soon. But the trouble is, this is going to be a single Vulture. Now, that wall is actually coming back to hurt TT1 here. The Dragoons get a little bit trapped out in the middle, and all of a sudden this Vulture is in the main. It's going to get 1 probe, possibly? 2 probes now. Gonna get a 3rd probe, could get a 4th as well with good target firing, but looks like he missed that a little bit. Now the final Marine is going to be sent on home, and TT1 has got a very, very strong advantage right now. Now we're actually seeing FlyMio go for a siege tank with siege mode, but the issue is it's going to spawn outside of the wall, and there's actually no way of getting back inside. Oh, okay, so there is. This is very tight though. This is not the kind of situation you want to be in as Terran. Obviously, later game it's going to cause a lot of issues with sort of traffic jams and stuff coming in from the units, but TT1 going to pull his probes over to his Expo and just continue to be aggressive. Now Dragoon range is coming in, there is a Vulture, the tank, oh sorry, there is a bunker, and the tank at the back is going to force these away for now. But FlyMio is going to have to make a decision soon on exactly how he wants to play this. Now, he is going to go and try and play this standard. He's adding on his command center. This is a lot later than you would normally see. He took a lot of damage from the early aggression. But I really want to see a dropship come in from FlyMio. Now, TT1 is actually going to go back home. Now, I think this is because TT1 isn't entirely sure what his opponent's doing, but here we are. We're going to see the installation gates coming into play. You can see that the probe can get through this. Now, no units can actually glitch through these at all, and you'll see the probe will actually go back home. That's a little bit of a mistake here from TT1. He's probably looking to take a 3rd base up there like I thought he would do. You really want to see Nuke with EMP? Well, Radley, you're on Ash now. It's your duty to show me that. Obviously, you want to see it yourself, but what's a better way of seeing it than doing it yourself? Now, it looks like the Robo is up. We should see an observatory coming in fairly soon. Obviously, he wants to be able to deal with those pesky mines, but it could also be a support bay. No, observatory first. Probe gonna come in here now. This isn't only just for a 3rd base. I mean, he could go for a 3rd base, but it's going to be to add a scouting pylon most likely, just to make sure he doesn't get caught off guard by any drops behind. This gives him the power to move his Dragoons out into the middle of the map. Now, we do have a couple of tanks, 3 tanks now in defense, so it makes it a little bit harder for the Dragoons to do something on their own. But TT1 just adding scouting pylons absolutely everywhere, and this is just because he knows FlyMio from this position is likely going to try and go for a drop to make something big happen, but unfortunately he's not really going for that. He's actually just going to try and play standard, and this is when things get a little bit harder. Now an extra gateway being added on here for TT1, going in for a Citadel and a Forge, so it could be 2 base Arbiter here. We could also see DT drop. That's a very, very powerful build on this map. We've got scanners coming in for FlyMio, but other than that, there's not really too much else going on. He doesn't have really the ability to go for anything other than just a lot of units at the moment. He needs to rebuild the unit count that he lost early on. Now, he is going to see that this shuttle with the SUV, that's a pretty big move. So this means that FlyMio is actually going to push on forward. Now, this is a little bit brazen by him. This is going to be 1 tank and 4 Marines going down immediately. And with those Marines going down, he's got nothing to contest the shuttle. The SUVs have been pulled again. And FlyMio just seems to be getting pulled a little bit far apart for my liking. Oh, here we go, the shuttle actually going to go in here, jumping on top of those tanks, going to force an unsiege, and this is when those Dragoons come in. Now, there is a good number of tanks still. He is going to be able to siege a couple of them. He's actually got a nice wall with this engineering base, so the Dragoon's not going to be able to get in. But unfortunately for FlyMio, he's kind of just putting out fires at the moment. He's not got any big plan. He doesn't have a free move to make. He's not going for like a hidden expansion or anything. He's just trying to go up to 2 gas. And every second that this game's on, that gives this game goes on, that gives TT1 more of an advantage. He's getting more and more gateways. He's looking to possibly add a 3rd base in this top left corner, maybe. And he's also going up to Arbiter attack. So at least I can only imagine. Yeah, Stargate coming in. That's going to be Arbiters. So this is, I mean, it's good that FlyMio managed to hold that, but he is 50 supply behind, and he is going to have to try incredibly hard here to try and come back in this game. He needs to make a play happen. That's his path back in, but it's whether or not he can force that play against a TT1 who has got good map vision. He's going in for a 3rd base over here at this third, or this other, okay, no, he's going to add on more scouting pylons, because TT1 knows that there's only realistically one way that FlyMio is going to come back. He's going to have to do some form of damage, and that's something that he just can't do right now. And that's why TT1's able to do exactly what he wants going into the 3rd base. Arbiter Tribunal should be coming up here as well. You can see TT1 is even adding on cannons to his mineral lines because he knows that this is going to be the only way that, at least for the time being, FlyMio is going to be able to do too much. Now, TT1 not adding his Arbiter Tribunal yet is kind of interesting. Maybe he's going to go for like some kind of crazy scout build, but I mean, he wouldn't have probably done the build he wanted to here. There's no +1 air coming in, and there's the Arbiter Tribunal a lot later than I would have expected from TT1. But TT1 kind of playing with his food a little bit here. But FlyMio is just going to try and turtle up to 200. There is actually a big drop in the main for Zealots getting dropped down. A few SUVs have gone down already by the looks of it. They've also been pulled away, but FlyMio unfortunately is really against the ropes. It's 11 minutes, nearly 12, and he's only got 2 factories going up to a 3rd. And that's not what you need. You need to be on 6 factories now. If you're going to go all in, you've got to go all in. If you're going to play greedy, you've got to have a 3rd command center by now, otherwise things just aren't going to go your way. And unfortunately, this is kind of watching the slow death of a Terran play here, because TT1 is doing a very, very good job. Now, ironically, these Dragoons are actually stuck, so if the game does go on long enough, this could be a little bit of a problem. You can see the Dragoons actually have to kind of waddle their way through the mineral line, which is a big problem. But another drop going down in the main, this time going to get cleaned up a little bit better. That Goliath surviving with 1 hit away from death. He is going to be able to kill that shuttle, so that's a little bit of a sigh of relief on his side. TT1 still continuing to add on cannons. Going to take another Nexus. This is going to be 4 bases for TT1, while FlyMio is barely mining off of the 2 he has. So something needs to happen here for FlyMio, and it needs to happen soon. It looks like he's going to try and go for a push. He's down 70 supply. A few of that will be in probes, of course, but he's pushing directly in the middle. This is not a fight he's going to win. I think this is going to be the death blow. TT1 Zealots getting on top of the back tanks. This is just too much of a Protoss army. Flymeo deciding to go all in. Not going to work out for him. Not enough units, not enough factories. And TT1 breaks through effortlessly. And GG! TT1 takes down Flymeo in a relatively straightforward game. Okay, so that was game number 1. Now, of course, that is just game number 1 of the series. There's many more games to go. Hopefully the games coming up are going to be fun. Obviously, we've had a lot of really quick games today. But okay, so let's actually have a look at who our next replay is going to be. It's going to be Reina versus Roegi. It's going to be a TVZ when we get back just after this. I'm just going to quickly set this up and then go for a quick minute break to get a drink, because things are kind of insane right now. But let's report that win for TT1. See you guys in just a sec. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. We're here for FBW versus BuLL. We just saw TT1 take down Flymeo. And without further ado, let's get into game number 2 as we introduce our next 2 players. Okay, fighting for BuLL here, we're gonna have Reina. He's 8 for 7 so far in the STPL. 53% win ratio, actually tied with Bonneth. Well, not anymore because Bonneth's now on 9-7. But still, a good player for BuLL. Has come out in nearly all of their games. Has won most of the games he's played. I mean, as you can see, just over a 50% win ratio. He's actually played against a few Zergs already. He beat Lamo Zerg in Galaxy, but did lose to Hirmu last time they played against FBW. That was in round 3. that was actually one of the series that kind of guaranteed that BuLL would not make it to the playoffs in round 3. That was a little bit unfortunate. Fortunate for FBW, but then unfortunately they didn't get in anyway. So let's have a look at his opponent. It's going to be Roegi. Now, Roegi hasn't actually played in the STPL for a very, very long time. Most of his games are all the way back in round 1. I think he may have played like a couple of games here and there in round 2 and round 3. But he's actually a Terran main, subbing in for Cadenzi here. He's got a 42% win ratio. He played TBTs against Radley, Terra, and Famasi, so that doesn't really come into his Zerg versus Terran here. I'm not sure if Roegi's actually switched to Zerg as his main. I believe there may have been like talks of that happening. But still, like this should be a fun matchup. Looking forward to seeing it. Not sure what race Roegi is. It looks like he's still a Terran main at least on the FBW Discord. So let's get into map number 2. It's going to be here on Neo Chain Reaction. Okay, so we're here on Neo Chain Reaction. The reason why Cadenzi was subbed out, it's a ZVT, Radley. It's not a TVT, unfortunately. Wish it was a TVT, but unfortunately, Cadenzi did. Wait, you say letting us down, but Abby, you play on Rev, man. Like, what are you saying? You can't go against your team's wishes here. But yeah, Roegi going to be playing Zerg here on Chain Reaction. Now, I'm not going to go into it too much because obviously I am solo casting now, so I need to save my voice a little bit just in case we have like an epic series coming up and I don't want to lose my voice and not be able to cast it at full potential. Solo casting is a lot harder on your voice, just in case you don't realize. But the reason why Cadenzi subbed out was because she was actually flying back from Korea to, I nearly said South America, Scotland. She went back to Scotland this week. She's back there on holiday. So without further ado, let's get into game number 2. I said that before, didn't I? But it's okay. It's a ZVT, yeah, ZVT between so many names just come out my mouth at once. I nearly said Radley, Roegi, and Reyna at the same time. It's Roegi versus Reyna on Neo Chain Reaction. Okay, starting over here in the right hand position, we do have the brown Terran fighting for BuLL. It's Reyna. And I've just noticed on the overlay that brown is really hard to see, so I'm going to swap it up for you. And his opponent spawning here in the left hand position, we do have the blue Zerg fighting for Foreign Brood War. It's Roegi. It's kind of funny going back to solo casting again. I mean, Rapid is... I am so unbelievably thankful for everything that Rapid does. I know you guys thank me a lot for running the tournament and things, and you like saying my production's really good, but I'm just going to say this, and I mean it from the deep bottom of my heart. If it wasn't for Rapid, I wouldn't be able to do this as often as I do, because it's so difficult to solo cast, and there's so many games to cast as well, that round 1... was so much more difficult, and then Cadenzi joined in for a little bit, and then obviously Rapid joined in. So Rapid has been the true savior of the STPL here. I know I spent a lot of time just going on and on about whatever I'm doing, but in terms of what's going on in the game, there's not really too much, so I'm not really too worried about that. We should have a scout coming out soon for one of our players. Now Roegi is going to go for a 12 hatch, what it looks like, so other than that, just to go back to what I was saying about Rapid, huge shout outs to him because he actually makes my life so much easier. And it's very, very important that you guys show him support as well. So if you don't already, follow him on Twitter at RapidCasting. Now there is going to be an interesting play here by Reyna. It's going to be a 2 racks before expansion. Now this is a little bit more of a sort of old school build. This isn't an old school map. It was from 2011. It was one of the final maps made, I believe, by the OSL map makers. There was some great games on here. It wasn't played very often, but it was used in the final round of Pro League, the SK Planet Pro League 11 and 12. So obviously not too many games got played on this on the end, but the STPL going to add to those stats a little bit. We'll see how our foreign players and our Korean players in this tournament, which are some of the main Korean amateurs at the moment, do when playing on this map. This is kind of what I go for when I'm picking the STPL map pool. I want to pick maps that haven't maybe seen as much play, or have seen play but it's been a long time since then. And it just gives us a chance to kind of explore the maps in a new way. We see the modern meta being played on them. Obviously Reyna playing a little bit weirdly here for a modern game, but he is playing a little bit more aggressive. Going to be 2 ranks Academy before an expansion. Now, I know Radley said this was the fake Reyna, because Radley actually uses the ID J_Reyna, and this is the kind of build that he would do. This is very boxer-esque, very old school in its application. You don't really see it too much anymore now. Looks like Reyna was kind of scouting around for an Overlord here. He doesn't manage to find this one. And he doesn't find this one either. Looks like Roegi's actually hiding those in very good locations. Also, just checking around to make sure that he doesn't get scouted, but little does he know that Roegi has already seen what's coming on, and there's already a good number of lings. That's actually 6 lings, 7 lings actually. The last ling actually chasing the SCV still. It's going to be 2 Hatch Lair coming in from Roegi. So we could see a little bit of Mulus play here from him, and we'll have to see how his off-race Zerg does, but it looks like Roegi going to push up into the Marines. A little bit of a mistake here from him, losing a lot of those lings early on. But the important thing is he scout the Marine count, so we should see... Oh well, there's actually a Hydra Den. My apologies, there's going to be Lurker first here for Roegi. This has been scouted by this SCV. But one thing that Roegi's going to have to do is make sure that he gets more Sunkens. If he can get some Sunkens up, then he can defend this initial push. But if he doesn't get those Sunkens ready, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Roegi is not going to be able to defend against this with Hydralisks. So more and more lings are moving across the map. Lurker Aspect is now researching, and it looks like it's going to be round 2 of Roegi trying to break through. Now he is going to scout. There is a Firebat and a Medic, so we really should start seeing some of those Sunkens coming in, but he's going to go for a run by. Now this could actually be very powerful, but Reyna already has 2 Firebats back here, but great spread on the lings by Roegi. Going to take down a lot of SCVs. What a great move by Roegi, but the problem is you can see that Reyna knows the SCVs are going to be enough to hold this for now, and you see him pushing forward. Now Roegi actually going to get on top of the Marines. A lot of them actually damaged from earlier. Going to take them down, and the creep colonies are in, so it could be that Roegi has actually done enough to hold on for now. But Roegi can't get too greedy. He needs these lings alongside those sunken colonies if he wants to hold on. The Sunkens are not done 2 morphing right now. Just imagine how different this would be with 4 more lings here. He's going to come in behind, threaten a backstab with the lings. But with 2 Firebats, 3 Firebats back at his main base, there's going to be no damage to be done for Roegi back here. And he is kind of just trying to cut off reinforcement at this point. He's waiting, trying to bide his time until this Lurker aspect's done. It's done. He needs to morph his Lurkers soon. And there we go, the first one is on the way. And the second one is on the way as well. Now, the big problem is Reyna does not yet have an expansion running. He's actually got 8 Firebats, or 6 Firebats back here with 2 Marines. He is 100% worried about some kind of backstab. A bunker is going down. There's no additional tech back here, but you can see a bunker going down in the main as well. Reyna knows that this is a Lurker play. He's going to scan, see the first couple of Lurkers, but great Lurker spines going down on top of Reyna's army. gonna wipe out the first group of bio as well as those Marines, but the first lurker did go down, so Roegi in a little bit of a troubling position here. He's going to move out with what he has. Now these Firebats are going to really struggle against what Roegi has right now. Obviously they're going to completely decimate the Lings, but the Lurkers are the main issue. Now Roegi is still incredibly low economy. We don't see Overlord drop or anything like that coming in, so he's going to have to look to try and expand soon if he wants to make something happen. Now it looks like he's going to go behind and try and go for this back door. Now there are these backdoor temples behind the natural. This does lead you to the third base. Now Reyna is not going to see this coming unless he sends a scout right away. It's very, very unlikely anything is going to be spotted here. Now the first missile turret is going down, but this lurker is actually going to get up to the mineral line, and there's going to be nothing back here to stop it. Now they are stacked temples. Looks like Roegi did not realize that to start with, so going to use just the lurker to do that. Now, as you can see from Reyna's vision, he doesn't hear this coming in. He can't see the lurker spines, can't see the temples. Now Reyna is actually scanning. Now he scans the main, checks what's going on there. We're actually going to have Baru coming in from Roegi here, playing a little bit cheeky, trying to get some burrow action going in. Now there's going to be another group of lurkers, another group of hydras moving out across the map. A lot of Lings here, unable to really engage this army from Reyna. Reyna still only on 2 barracks for the time being. +1 attack is done. Now there is another scan gone down. Now he did scan the high ground, so he sees that the temples are under attack. How is he going to deal with this? He sends an SCV just to confirm. He wants to see exactly what's going on down there. Could actually wall this off, and this is what he's going to do. He's going to go double bunker with a turret behind on the low ground, but is this bunker going to finish in time? Roegi unfortunately not on top of attacking the temples with his spines. Here we go, 3 lurkers here, going to make this a little bit better, but the bunker's going to finish. But with this bunker here, these lurkers are not going to be able to run by. It's going to be up to these Lings to try and do a little bit of damage, but with good control, we should see a good repair coming in here. Now it looks like the temple's still not down. That is one thing about the way the temples work and the reason why they're balanced, should I say. It's not like the destructible rocks in StarCraft 2 where you'll just have one set of rocks, they go down and suddenly your base is exposed. No, these are built to have multiple stacked temples, so it makes it very difficult to get through. But you can see that Roegi pushes through. That's 2 bunkers with a decent number of Marines and also an SCV, going to throw a few grenades out of that bunker there. But Roegi's forced to turn around, and his plan, his big plan of action is not going to work. Now, he's actually going to try and break down this warp gate, but unfortunately for him, there's actually another temple here, so that's going to be another temple he has to break down to get through to that. But here we go, looks like the lurker's going to move in. Big stim on the medic marine, going to have to borrow the lurkers. The Lings getting absolutely shredded by these firebats, but lurkers getting in position. Gonna make it a little bit harder for Reyna to push out, but Reyna with tanks now on the high ground. Roegi is going to have to do something different here. This is not going to work for him longer term. He's only going to be able to contain Terran he's only going to be able to contain Terran for so long, and you can see that Roegi's pushing down with his Lings, pushing in with some more lurkers. And this is where we're going to kind of see that funny TVZ dance. So you don't see as much these days, but we're going to see the lurkers leapfrogging back against the leapfrogging forward siege tanks. Dropship is on the way. What else is going on? We've actually got the factory in a very good position up here, helping create a wall against this warp gate. Now, this is going to be hard for Reyna still. His bio count is very, very small, only now just standing up to 5 barracks. Roegi unfortunately tried to send a drone over to that bottom right base. It is caught off by the fact there's a temple here. I mean, you can tell he subbed in. I don't think he was fully prepared for this to actually happen. Wait. No, Radley, you've got to be kidding me, right? There's no way it gives it auto repair. No way. Like, that has to be some kind of joke, right? I'm gonna have to test this afterwards. I can't tell if I'm being trolled. The trouble is, Radley knows so many really weird and cool facts about Brood War that I can't be sure. Now, funnily enough, Reggie is actually, or Reyna is gonna fly his dropship over the lurkers. Now, this is one of those funny moments with TVZ where you go lurker first. You don't have anything to stop the dropships. Now, this is going to be a full dropship of Marines and Medics dropping down in the base. And GG, he can't do anything about the drop, taps out, and that's going to be a win for Reyna. Okay, and you say there's no way a Terran doesn't know that. I have never ever seen someone put an SCV in a bunker deliberately before. Okay, I genuinely, I can't tell if I'm being trolled. Like, this is something I'm gonna have to test because I genuinely have no idea. Obviously, I can't test it now, as we're gonna go into game number 3 when we get back after this. It's gonna be Dark versus Hero in a PvZ. Looks like Dark does play PvZ rather than ZVZ, so that's good for us as viewers. We don't have to watch 2 ZVZs in a row. So we'll be back just after this. And yeah, you say I should know that, but this is why I'm only 1700 MMR and B. I've been playing for what, like 10 years and I still don't know that? Oh man, I feel bad about that now. That's a little bit worrying. But hopefully that clip will be lost to time and no one will ever know that I didn't know that. So let's get into game number 3 when we get back after this very short break. Okay guys, welcome back. We're watching BuLL versus FBW. I'm fairly certain Radley is trolling me. So... Oh, that was antenna, not burrow. Oh, you know what? That looked like the burrow icon. So, well, it should look like what the burrow icon should look like. But, let's... Sorry, I'm laughing at the Foreign Brood War Discord a little bit. But let's actually have a look at how the next game is going to shape up. Let's introduce our next 2 players here as we get into game number 3. Okay, so for BuLL, we're going to have Dark. Now, Dark, unfortunately, has not had the best luck in his games. He's actually statistically one of the worst performing players on BuLL. He's been up against some very, very strong opponents, though, and he did lose his last three PVZs between Lumire, Spy, and Mitak. But looking forward to seeing exactly how this is going to go as he goes up against Hirmu. Now, Hirmu has been around for a very long time, went from playing Zerg to playing Zerg some more and becoming the captain of FBW in round 2 onwards. So he's here in round 3. He's actually played more games than I think most of the FBW team have actually played put together. That's how much he's played. He kind of became their ace in the hole on Plasma in round 3. And here he is on the Mantra, a more standard map here in round 4, up against Protoss opponents, where he's actually 3 for 7 at the moment. So Pixie, hopefully you can let me know if that actually works, because I don't believe it does, and Radley is the ultimate troll. But maybe he's right, I don't know. There's so many weird things in Brood War that just don't make any logical sense, and they just happen. So without further ado, let's actually have a look at the map intro. We're going to move in on to La Mancha just after this. Okay, so here we are on the Mancha. Now, I'm being trolled by my own overlay. Oh my goodness. I am just losing it today, guys. I'm very sorry for any inconveniences caused. Hopefully things aren't too bad on your end and you're enjoying the show regardless of my solo casting tired self. But looking at La Mancha, we're looking at the right map now. We're actually 3-0 for ZVP. We saw Kenzie took down first, Eon Zerg took down Jax, and Kenzie once again came back for IRK and took down Talon on this map the other day when they were playing against Red. So, gonna be cool to see exactly how this goes as we get into game number 3, a PVZ on the Mancha between Hirmu and Dark. Okay, starting us off here in the 10 o'clock position, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting for BuLL team. Dark. Now his opponent spawning up here in the top right hand position. We do have in the white fighting for FBW, it's Hirmu. Now Hirmu is a very, very good player for FBW, always comes out, always does the best he can. We've seen some absolutely insane late game games from him. Now I'm not sure if we're going to see it here, but hopefully we will do. We've not really had too many long games here. This is one of the things with a team league, more so than an individual league. Obviously in a best of 3 or a best of 5 situation, in a solo league like the BSL, players are kind of playing off each other's strengths, where in a team league it entirely comes down to the games played on the day. And to me that's actually what makes it more exciting. Like, I always felt, especially back in the day, that I got way more involved with Pro League than I ever did with OSL or MSL. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. Following SKT became kind of like, I guess it's like following your favorite sports team. You kind of just, end up watching them a lot. You kind of watch all their games, you get used to all their players, you get used to their coaching staff, you see how they play, you see how they sort of deal with the situations they're put under, and how they do against the other teams as well. Now, Hirmu is going for an overpull here, a build we've seen countless times in the STPL, and we're actually going to see a Nexus first from Dark. Nexus into Forge as well. The Dark is actually going to be in a pretty precarious situation, knowing he's up against a pool here, but he must be feeling relatively safe. Now, Dark does play Zerg versus Protoss, and he plays Zerg versus Terran. So he does have a little bit of knowledge of what Zerg can get away with and what they can't in CVP. So I imagine that's why he's chosen to go for this cannon after he's gone for the Forge, because he knows that Hirmu is not going to be able to get his units across the map in time to kind of deal with it. Now, if you'll excuse me for just a second, I just need to put on a jacket because things are getting very cold in my room. You know what, let's wait until we see the break from the Lings, because I don't want to kind of miss anything super important as I stand up to try and wrestle a jacket onto my arms while frantically trying to sit back down. Now, oh no, Dark sent its Zerglings back too early, as probes back too early even, tried to block the ramp, nearly lost the cannon, but luckily enough for him, he does manage to hold on. Now, there is a single Ling in the main. Until speed comes along, that's not really going to be a massive problem. Hirmu is actually looking. I thought he was going to take third base down there, but that was an Overlord. And, I mean, both... Oh, wow, he's actually taking a forward third. This is going to be a Hydralisk play, guys. So, he is going to look to play incredibly aggressive here, using forward hatchery as a forward position. Now, I hope you can still hear me properly. I am actually stood up right now. One of the things I want to do when I can move is see if I can get like not a standing desk as such, but a way of casting stood up, because it feels so much better for your voice to talk up than it does sitting down. But that's why I found out that Tasteless actually stands up when he casts like ASL and things. Like, he has the stall, but he barely ever sits on it. I mean, the photos that we've seen from Rapid where he's taken them behind the scenes, you see Tasteless has always stood up, so... it's just one of the kind of quirks. Obviously, the Korean casters used to stand up a lot as well, back in the Pro League days and things like that. I mean, the guy, I can never remember his name, but he used to be the MC for OGN, did MCing for OGN LOL as well. He, like, when you watch him cast Move Pro League, he's just standing up all over the place. Like, he's throwing his body around. That's how he gets his voice to do what it does, and it's just amazing. Like, I really want to get that good someday, but it's so difficult. It's a really hard thing to do, like, have that much energy for that long and not lose your voice. Like, he went through years and years of practice, and he went through a lot of vocal training, I would imagine, as well, with OGN. And he just did a fantastic job. Obviously, I could never understand what he was saying. But Citadel coming in here for Dark, he's actually going Citadel without a Stargate, so skipping straight into High Templar here. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. He got a scout, I believe. He hasn't seen the... oh, he did actually see the third hatchery, I think. So, that's kind of a big moment. He knows that Hydralisks are going to be on the way, and he just has to survive. Now, this is why he's going to go for Templar Archives first. Now, he's actually delaying that quite a bit. There's a little bit of a mistake here. He is sending out his Zealots as well. Maybe trying to find any Hydras that are hidden down here, but I'm not so sure about this. I think Hirmu could actually jump on this. There's only one cannon. I don't think he does know it's Hydras. I think he's just going for a +1 Speed Zealot attack. There's +1... no, he's not even got +1, so Dark is playing very strangely in this game. Like, I don't know if he's expecting there to be an undefended third base down the bottom right of the map, but that's where he's sending all of his Zealots. Probably is he's up against Hydras with one cannon. I hate to say this, guys, but I think we're going to have a very quick third game here in this series. Because how does a guy with just one cannon hold off against this many Zerg, or this many Hydralisks? Now, this is going to be the first moment the Zealots are going to see this. But what's Dark's reaction going to be? And I'm losing my voice already. Looks like the Hydra's jumping on that first cannon, gonna get it down. Now the benefit is he has got very quick speed for his Zealots. The Zealots actually coming in for a flank from behind. This could be an incredible hold if he manages to do it. Holding off against 3 Hatch Hydra with just Zealots is very, very difficult. And he's doing it so far. He's buying himself time. But there's still no Templar Archives, so this is a completely... It's such a tense situation right now for Dark. If he can kill enough Hydralisks, he can buy more time, buy some cannons, buy some Templar, and he does manage to get a lot of those Hydralisks. He doesn't even have +1, and he's still doing so much damage. The micro on display by Dark here is absolutely insane. Hinru struggling just a little bit to keep his Hydras alive. And look at how many Hydras he's killed. He's actually put himself up 20 supply on Hinmu now. And I'm saying that completely wrong, but 5 cannons, 6 cannons back at home. Templar Archives is done, Storm is on the way, and Dark has not only held this, I think he's given himself an incredible position. With just Zealots, he holds against an incredible number of Hydralisks. Great micro. And Dark putting himself in a great spot here as we move later into this game. Hinru is now going to have a hatchery, which is going to be very difficult for him to hold. The second we get a large Protoss army, they're going to be able to swing up here and clear that out. The Hydras are going to push forward, but little does Hinru know there's a lot of cannons here now, and he's going to have to fall back. Now there is 3 Zealots trying to come in to the natural. Hinru not actually microing the Hydras as well as he needs to, but doing a good job there, keeping the last few alive. This last Zealot going to run home with its tail between its legs, but still doing a lot of damage once again. And Hinmu is going for the backup plan. He's adding on 2 additional hatcheries, going up to 5, adding his evolution chamber. Lair coming in as well. I mean, there is still the option of going for like a lurker contain if you want to, but one of the major things about this map is look how big of an area you would have to contain. You've got all of this space. There's the bridge down here which you need to try and contain as well, which is very difficult. Oh, a storm going down on those front Hydras as well. That's a little bit unfortunate. Is range not done? You've forgotten range or something? Those Hydras really should have been hitting that gateway, but a little bit unfortunate. Maybe get range to get speed out a little bit quicker and possibly forgot. He's obviously been microing a lot on 2 fronts here as he's been trying to deal with the Zealot pressure. Now Lurker's coming in. This is going to be that big play that Hinmu is going to try and go for. He is opting to go for a contain. Now, as easy as this is for Protoss to attack this base in the 12, Hinmu can add a lot of sunken colonies here, make a wall with an evolution chamber and another hatchery or something, and it's actually going to be a good staging point for this contain. Now, funnily enough, Dark is going to have to get out of his base. He actually gets a Dragoon stuck out here that goes down. You can see all of the cannons now being used to kill that gateway. Just so he can move out, there's actually a lot of Storm energy here already on those 4 High Templar. Is he getting Kadar and Amulet? No, so there's not going to be 3 Storms per High Templar. That's going to be a little bit of a benefit for Hinmu here. But I would definitely say Hinmu is on the ropes a little bit. The economy of Hinmu is actually getting a little bit better, but obviously it was stifled earlier by those Hydralisks. Now, there is +1 attack coming in. That's going to be 4 range, so he's going to be staying on Lurker Hydra for a while until he can kind of decide what the next move is. But the trouble is he hasn't even had time to get any Lurkers right now. Looks like Dark is going to move out. 2 of the Overlords are going to go down. No Overlord speed has been researched either due to that late layer. And we're really starting to see the effects of exactly how far 3 Hatch Hydra puts you behind if it doesn't work. If you lose a lot of Hydras, you suddenly don't have a lot of army. Your tech is delayed. Your economy is delayed. And now all of Hinmu's Hydras are in this top middle base. But they need to get back and defend. The Overlords... Oh, this is a good unit movement by Dark. He's actually going to swing over to the right hand side, make it look like he's going to go into the main. He's going to come back and attack, but unfortunately Hinmu is not taking the bait. First 2 Lurkers are coming in here. Let's see what exactly we'll see. We should see a storm coming down on those. Actually storming the egg at the back, that's not the right egg. I think he thought it was a lurker egg, but unfortunately going to be taking a lot of damage on his units. Going to be forced back for the moment. Okay, and if we're having a look here exactly how this is going to go, we've got 2 of the High Templar with a lot of storm energy. He's waiting to try and figure out where those where the lurkers are, but look at the amount of lurkers morphing in at the back here. This is going to be very difficult to break with storm. Looks like he was waiting for an observer. The observer going to make this a lot easier to push into. A nice storm going down on those front hydralisks once again. Another great storm. And the issue is, where does Hyunwoo spread out his lurkers? The first storm doing a lot of damage, taking one of them down. Lots and lots of damage being done at this 12 o'clock base. And you know what? I think this may just be a little bit too much. Hyunwoo's got 3 hatcheries worth of production here, so he's going to try and use that to hold on. Ling's coming in with speed, trying to see if he can dive on top of the High Templar. Doesn't manage to get that one. And another lurker goes down. Hyunwoo is in an awful position. Dark is actually trying to get a 3rd base up here. Lings did try and swing in here to pull some units away, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Just Lings are not going to be enough here against this. The High Templar throwing a storm, killing all of those remaining units. GG! Dark takes down Hyunwoo and wins game number 3. Okay, so that's the end of game number 3. I just need to load up the next replay, so we won't take a break this time. That was a relatively short game, only 13 minutes. And I think we're going to be in for a short game next as well. It's going to be a ZBZ, I know that much. It's actually going to be Faust versus William, and it's going to be on Neo Medusa. So let me just quickly set up the overlay. Hopefully you guys, once again, are having a good Friday evening. It's really, really cool that it's finally the weekend. I've been so unbelievably tired at work all week. It's been crazy. I've been enjoying casting the STPL. That's kind of been the one thing I've enjoyed this week, which is good. I mean, I would have liked to enjoy the rest of the week as well, but it's been great. I tell you one thing that I have been doing that I've been very, very much enjoying is watching Initial D. Initial D first stage, I've finally bothered to sit down and watch it. I've been listening to Eurobeat for years, never bothered watching Initial D. And I made the right choice because it is so good. I'm so glad I've started watching it. I've nearly marathoned the whole of the first season in the last week. So I've been getting pretty heavily invested. I'm on the final race, the final battle of stage 1. And I'll be watching that as soon as the STPLs are run on with. So looks like my overlay is basically done. So let's actually head on over and introduce our first couple of players here in our 4th game. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm not ready because I am completely out of it today, but let's actually put the colors in, and I can't see the colors, so that's me being silly. So it's going to be orange versus peach. What's up with that door? Looks like cops busted it or something. Okay, so this door, I'll tell you, this door is 125 or something years old, right? It is so drafty, and they can't replace it because I live in a listed building, so my landlord can't do anything about it. There's gaps all around the door. Like, I can't explain how annoying it is. There's so much air coming in that it makes it very cold. And in order to try and help, my landlord decided to put insulation on the door, which is what those wood panels are. Basically, there's a ton of insulation behind them. It did help a little bit. Unfortunately, it didn't stop the draft or the noise, but hopefully I'm moving soon. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, because whenever I get my hopes up, something happens. STPL rules number 1, we don't talk about the doors. 2, we don't talk about the doors. 3, we don't talk about how late it is in Korea when Rapid's casting, because it makes them more tired. But yeah. Okay, so the overlay's ready. Let's get in and introduce our 4th set of players here in the series. Did I say that? And I forgot what button to press. Here we go. So, we're going to have William here for BuLL. There's not really too much to say about him. He lost his only game, that was against Ghost in round 2, I think? It was a while ago. Ghost hasn't played for White for a while. Ghost actually had a few key matches that he didn't win in, and I think that was kind of the nail in the coffin. He didn't get put in the STPL lineup after that. So that's something. His opponent going to be here. Fan favorite in Faust here. Now, you know what? I'm just going to spend a second just to type this out because I know people are going to want to watch this on the FBW Discord. So, Faust is certainly an interesting character. He's a really, really cool guy. But yeah, it does look kind of strange. People are saying it was like a jail door, which admittedly is very funny because it kind of does look like that. But Faust is a fan favorite. He's not had the best win ratio. He's actually very close to having the worst or the most amount of losses in the STPL overall, which he's actually quite proud of. He's been around for a while, been doing a lot for the CPL. He actually coached one of the teams there. Kind of burst onto the scene when Tai 2 did, mainly. In terms of tournaments and stuff. He started off really well, kind of petered off a little bit. But let's see what... Okay, it's some weird meme that TT1 posted in the Discord. I don't need to look at that right now. Let's introduce our fourth and possibly final map here of today's STPL. Okay, so this is Neo Medusa. It's on the ladder now. You should know it fairly well if you don't already. It's a 3-player map. It's a ZBZ, so things are not going to be that crazy, I don't think. I mean, well, I say that. This is Faust, right? To give you a little bit of background to Faust in the SCPL, one of his first ever games was on Judgment Day. It was a ZBZ, and he built an Evo chamber first. That's the kind of guy we're looking at. He has the most creative and wacky ideas. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Let's see exactly how Faust is going to do here as we get into game number 4. It's Willian versus Faust on Neo Medusa. Okay, starting us off here in the right hand position, we do have the Peach Zerg fighting for FBW. It's Faust. And his opponent here spawning on the top left position, we do have the Orange Zerg fighting for BuLL. It's Willian. Now, the one important thing to note here is Willian is on match point. If Willian wins this game, we will be going... Well, if Willian wins the game, we'll be finishing the series with a 3-1 victory to BuLL. If Faust wins this game, we'll be seeing an ace match here in this series. So I'm really hoping we're going to get an ace match. We didn't see an ace match in Series 1. It was a very quick 3-0. But looking forward to this game in particular. Faust is definitely an interesting character now. It looks like he's actually going to go for a 9 hatchery at the mineral only behind his main. So Faust has got something interesting planned here. 9 hatch is very good for early game production. Obviously you can kind of sneak a few drones there, but there's no gas, so it's not super helpful to get those extra minerals, but it could be used for some kind of ling all-in. We've got an overpull coming in here for Willian. Not something you often see too often in the ZVZ matchup, but kind of just run-of-the-mill build. Works a little bit like 12 pool does. You don't really get any benefit of any early production. You don't get any super fast lings or anything crazy. And yeah, as Radley said, let's see some Mass Hydra from Faust. Faust does some weird builds, and you know what? If we see Mass Hydra in his EVZ, we go to Hive, we see Queens, I'll take it. Like, Queens in Snare, that is what I live for in CVZ. And for a second I was almost going to go into that song that's like, that's what I go to school for. But the funny thing is, I don't even know what song that is. It just kind of popped into my head. So if someone can tell me what that song is, you can save me from having to Google it afterwards. But yeah, it looks like Willian is going to see the pool coming up with the gas. Faust is going to see exactly the same thing. They both scouted in the correct direction with their overlords. And it just looks fairly normal. I mean, there's going to be a hatchery here for Willian. He's actually going to go for a 12 hatch in his main. So both of them are going to have 2 hatchery worth of production. There's a lot of lings coming out here for Faust, actually going for 8 lings at once. Another 2 sets of lings here. They both go away. No, they both can't be going for a ling all in, right? What happens when 2 people ling all in each other? How does that work? Like, how? I can't imagine 2. I mean, it's just gonna come down to micro, surely. And it looks like Willian gonna move out first. Well, Faust has moved out first, but Willian is gonna go to his natural here to try and get ready for this. Now, the difference in build order is Faust actually went for 2 additional lings first, whereas Willian went for his overlord. Now, Faust is actually hiding a lot of his lings back at home. Now, unfortunately for Faust, the overlord has already seen this. Now, Faust actually going for these temples at the back. Now, as we saw on Neo Chain Reaction, these temples have a bit of an interesting property to them. Now, this property here is that there's actually stacks of them. So we'll see that when this first temple goes down, there's going to be another temple underneath. And you know how long it takes these poor little Zerglings to kill this temple? It takes a very long time. Now, Willian has finished speed first. Faust must have speed by this point as well, unless he's going for lair. No, he does have speed. He's going for a sunken colony. Now, hiding those lings isn't actually a bad decision here. Willian knows that the lings are out on the map, but he doesn't know about this large swell of lings in the main, and there's going to be a sunken rush coming in here from Willian. He's going to try and get a sunken colony up on the edge of the creep on the hatchery. Now here we go, looks like we are going to have a big engagement. The trouble is the sunken of Willian is going to be in a bit of an awkward position, but it does create a little bit of a wall. But Faust, with superior numbers of lings here for the time being, going to try and focus down the lings and then the creep colony. It looks like Willian's second set of lings come in, but a little bit too late. And that rush has been averted for now. Now, what is Faust going to do? Is he going to go for lings behind this? Looks like the lings outside the temples actually got cleaned up. I don't think he pushed in with any lings, so he must have come in behind to try and do that. So it looks like we are going to have Faust chasing Willian back to his natural here. Willian's got a decent number of Zerglings back in defense. They're actually neck and neck on supply, but Faust seems to be getting a little bit better of an engagement every single time here, and he's still following back because Willian has suddenly got a lot more lings, because Faust, unfortunately, his lings got caught on the middle of the map. They're going for the back of the temples, and he's going to have to pull them forward. This is going to be a very dangerous position. It looks like Faust losing a few of his lings out in the open. Willian in a very good position here. Faust needs more defense. Looks like there is an overlord in the natural. Thought that was a ling somehow. But looks like Willian going to get up into this natural base, going to take control of the top of the ramp. This is going to be near impossible for Faust to be able to come up and defend. Now, of course, neither player has a lot of drones, so this is all in on lings at the moment for both players. The sunken actually helping out a lot here, and this hatchery going to create a nice little tight choke here. Looks like Faust going to push forward. Is he going to be able to break through? Looks like Willian losing a lot of his lings. A lot of damage being dealt to those lings by the sunkens earlier, really starting to add up, and Faust with a large number of lings over his opponent now, going to chase Willian back into the middle. Unfortunately, Willian doesn't have another set of lings running in from the bottom right now, as Willian is actually opting to go in for a Spire. Now, do we see a lair yet from Faust? No, we don't. So Evo Chamber going to be the order of the day here for Faust. The Evo Chamber is going to be what keeps him alive, but the problem with ZVZ, and the problem with going Evo Chamber in ZVZ, is you're behind. Realistically, it's going to be hard for the Muta player to get any damage done, because you've got usually about 2 spores per base. But the issue is, where are you ever going to expand again as Faust? You can't. You're going to be stuck on 1 gas. The Mutas are going to stop you expanding forever. Unless you go into Hydras, which is not going to happen. I'm going to be realistic. Faust does some wacky builds, but Hydras in CVZ is not going to happen here. Now, Faust actually spreading his lings a little bit oddly. Looks like Willian is going to try and pull back to this choke, as he knows the natural is not there, so it doesn't really matter. But the first couple of Mutas going to come in. They're going to help do a lot of damage to these Zerglings. But look at the amount of lings that Faust has. This is overwhelming at this point in time. The Sunken needs to be saved if he wants any hope of holding on to this. But Faust is losing a lot of the lings. A lot of lings at the top getting taken down, but the lings at the bottom being taken down by the drones. The Sunken colony goes down. The Mutas clean up the final ling, but this is 4 Mutalist now. The Overlords are going to go down, but there's more lings on the way from Faust. Looks like 2 lings, unfortunately, getting rallied to the wrong location. The Spore colonies have finished. Looks like Willian has survived, but Willian's on 5 drones. Let's do a drone count over here. Faust is on 6. So supreme low economy for both of these players. The lings of Faust getting taken down by the Mutas, and another Overlord is going to go down. Now, in CBZ, this is where things get odd for the Evo Chamber player. We're going to see Faust trying to send in a lot of lings. I mean, Willian's going to have to go back and defend this. He's got a Sunken, but if he loses a single drone, he is going to be so unbelievably far behind. There goes a drone. Can he get a second one? Looks like no, but Willian is back to 5 drones again, 1 on gas. And it looks like Faust has been trying to drone up here. He needs to get additional drones for more spores. Oh my god, he's actually in a very good position here. The Spore are not able to hit the Mutas, but here we go. 2 spores at the natural or the main mineral line. You can see this is where things get a little bit crazy. We're going to have this hatchery definitely go down. There's absolutely nothing Faust can do about that. And lings coming in could take down this Spore colony. But Faust is going to be defended on his 1 base. Like, he doesn't really have to worry about dying to Mutas. But look at this. Faust managing to sneak in another 3 Zerglings. Doesn't manage to get a drone this time, but still could do a little bit of damage to this Sunken. Now, looks like some more lings have actually got in the base from Willian. So they are going to take down this hatchery, which puts Faust in an unfortunate position. Of course, he's not going to be able to expand again. And that's what the problem is. Now, it looks like the lings did move back in. Didn't manage to get another drone. There's actually no kills on them, unfortunately. But Willian is going to be able to defend that front. But Willian can't kill Faust at the moment. Willian's not going to be able to deal with the spores. You can see the Mutalist going to be forced away almost immediately. Now, Faust did try and jump in. He's actually done a lot of damage, but that's not enough. Faust knows he's stuck on 1 base. GG's out. And that's going to give BuLL the 3-1 victory. So, I mean, we did have some relatively quick series. Now, I was planning on doing that bonus game, but solo casting has actually taken my entire voice. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to leave it there for today, guys. I'll do the bonus game next time we cast together with Rapid, because obviously I'll have a little bit... sorry, what was I going to say? Oh man, I'm so unbelievably tired. But huge thank you to tuning in with me. Oh wow, thank you very much, Benevolent Bear, for the 1,000 bit cheer. Means a hell of a lot, man. Every single bit of support is so unbelievably important to me, because it allows me to keep doing this. It allows me to sort of add stuff to my stream setup as well. I'm currently saving up for a new monitor, like a second monitor, because when I move, I'm not going to have a second screen right next to me anymore, so I can't use my TV. So let's actually quickly run through the results of that series. Willian with a good win there against Faust is going to put us up to... Oh, thank you, Sari, for the 46-bit cheer. I know that you often donate bits to me as well, so it's a huge thank you to you as well. Let's actually quickly bring up the results. and let's see exactly how this series went. Drink some hot lemon juice. I don't actually have any lemon, so that could be a problem. But yeah, looking at the results, we've got TT1 winning over Fly Mio there, Reina winning over Regi, Dark winning over Hirmu, and Willian winning over Faust in our final game of the series. Now, just to go through a few things that I need to go through a lot more often, just a few thank yous to say. A huge thank you to Rapid for actually turning up to cast with me despite not sleeping for a long time and going hiking for like 5 hours as well. He is an absolute beast. I'm so happy that he comes to cast with me. It would be so much harder if he wasn't here. So huge shout outs to him. If you want to follow him on Twitter, you can see it down there. It's at Rapid Casting. He also goes by Twitch on the same name and YouTube as well, where he's currently working on a lot of sort of review videos for upcoming tournaments. So he talks about groups and stuff. He does this for Brood War and StarCraft 2, as well as doing a lot of STPL and BSL casting. Huge thank you to the people who have supported me. Continue to support me. If you do want to support me in the stream a little bit more, the best way you can do that is through Patreon. There's obviously the donate button underneath the stream as well, where you can donate some money if you so choose to. And if you want to donate to the prize pool, there is still the Matcherino link. Huge thank you as well to them for giving me a platform to really host this tournament, because if it wasn't for Matcherino, the prize pool wouldn't be nearly as big as it was, or big as it is. It's over $1,500 at the moment. Huge thank you to everyone who donated to that as well. And if you have missed any of the STPL games so far, you can obviously check the VODs on Twitch for the latest VODs, or you can go to the following link to see all of the other remaining games. There's been over 400 of them so far. It's youtube.com/STPLTV. You can also follow STPLTV on Twitter, as well as KixSD on Twitter as well, for all the latest on STPL news. I've actually got a cool couple of announcements coming up soon for what's going to be coming in Season 2. So look forward to that, guys. Huge thank you to everybody as well who's tuned in. It's been great fun having you here. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to tune into the BSL over the weekend. It's going to be great. And I don't know if ASL is on this weekend. It is 1 day, 11 hours. We're going to have a mini versus effort. So tune into that as well. And Brood War G's Weekly on Sunday, if that gets a cast. I can't remember if that gets a cast, but well worth watching. And have a very good weekend. Okay guys, Aggie is doing like an IRK LAN weekend thing, so I'm going to host him. Thank you for tuning in once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Sorry, I'll host you next time. It's just, this is like a Team IRK thing, so I want to get this some views.